Hello and welcome to GammaXTrading. We're going to cover market replay for NinjaTrader. You'll go to your control panel, you'll select your connections tab, ensure you're not connected to any other broker, choose the playback button for the connection, and this window will appear. The playback window, you're able to take and choose your asset. We're going to use MNQ for this example, and then what date you want to download. So we'll start with the 25th. We'll click on the download button. This will take anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds depending on your internet connection to download this. And then now we'll choose last Friday's data, the 26th. And we'll hit continue. This playback window will now launch, and that's going to bring up your candlestick data. This might take just a moment for your candlestick data to load, but once this window gets a little darker and you can move around in it, you'll be able to now choose your dates. Now this does default to your earliest date that you have downloaded to your latest date. So we're going to go ahead and start on the 24th and then end on the 25th for this example. But it does default to 12 o'clock midnight, so keep this in mind. So we can go ahead and move this to about 8 o'clock in the morning when there's a little bit of activity. If the bars get out of space because they've dropped, you can click this F button in the top right hand corner, and that centers all your candlestick data into your current window. Here you can test this out by clicking play and speeding it up a little bit. You can do 10, 20, 30, whatever time you want to. You'll know it's working because under this ATM, these numbers will start changing, and of course you'll see the candlesticks changing. The quicker you have this go, you'll see the quicker that the time speeds up for you. So we'll pause that. One thing to note is on NinjaTrader, if you've got too many open charts with the same asset you're doing replay on, or if you've got too many indicators loaded, this will by default slow to 1x speed no matter what your setting is. And you'll just see that because you'll just have the second counter will tick over normally, and it'll be like a normal replay speed. So if you want to do several days worth of data, make sure that you have your indicators drop down a little bit. On this example, I just created a fresh workspace with only one chart open, and the indicators that I'm using for this example are just the Riptide X, Super Moving Average X, ETM, and then the Supreme Stochastics. Something else to keep in mind as well too, you can change these from calculate to each tick to on price change as well too, and that might help with your speed settings a little bit as well too. That is something that might be able to help you with that. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and get our strategy loaded. So we'll go into strategies, and we're just going to run AutoX Bot for this example. You do want to ensure that your playback 101 is selected. So you want to be sure that we're not on like a sim account or another evaluation account, or else this won't work. So you've got to make sure this is on playback 101 and click enable, apply, and okay. And we'll quickly go ahead and configure AutoX Bot. We'll do a market order. We're just going to do our shift signals for this. So we'll do a bullish shift and a bearish shift. So to get that data, we can just double click it, and it's TS buy label and then TS sell label for the opposite order. These are not case sensitive, so you can type them any way you want to. And they'll also turn green, so that way if you typed it incorrectly and it shows up on your chart, this will be shown and green. That says you're all okay to go. We'll add a couple targets here. We'll do 2 orders and 2 orders. And let's just do something weird. It's a good idea to start taking and trading the same date ranges. That way, as you're making minor changes, maybe adding in a trailing stop loss or adding break evens into your trading, or what you're trading off of, whether a continuation, how you're doing your exit manager, you can really start playing around with the settings and see what performs best during that same date range and really start nailing down a good working preset for yourself. So on my exit manager, I'm just going to do opposite signals. So for my long, my bullish shift, I'm going to want to do a TSL label. and a TS SPY label. That way, if I see the opposite order come in, I can get out. But you could also use things like if you want to use the ETM neutral, because typically it always goes from red, neutral, then to green, or green, neutral, then back to red. So that's also something good that you can use to get yourself out of a trade. And again, you just double click that, and that would be the neutral ETM. So you can use whatever you like as you're backtesting and seeing what results work best for you. I'll add a manual entry custom button to the dashboard, and I'll go ahead and enable all of the data box presets. I'll name this that way we don't have to change anything but the items that we want to change, and then apply. We'll enable automations and then start playing again. And this will now go ahead and start taking your trades as you see fit according to what you've configured AutoX Bot for. And then you can speed this up or slow this down as you like and start seeing how it works for you. Hope you enjoy, have some fun making some presets and seeing what you like. Have a great day.